Hi there, welcome to another edition of Freeworld Heads Up. Myself and Sanjoy. So Sanjoy, as usual, we always kick off with currency.
Yeah.
What's been happening?
Well, we've had last week. We've had some figures basically that have pushed the euro and sterling down. Basically, the order has changed now. The dollar looks the firmest. Next is UK, I guess, and the old ghosts are coming back to the euro. So if we take it this way, we had the sterling, on Friday we had construction output figures. These were pretty weak actually. The growth seems to be slowing down, and it's actually part of a pattern. So things looking a little bit deflationary in the UK. Really worse figures for the euro. All the central price indexes, etc., fell 0.4% in April, and next week we have the spectre of them all going around to discuss the next Greek bailout. So
back to 6 months ago.
That's all
back to the future.
That's right. We had the Bank of England meeting on last Thursday. That came out with all pretty much, all held the same. But then there followed some comments by Carney, which were how terrible it would be if we left the EC. Quite a furore about that one, and with the Brexit groups saying, "Oh, you can't have that. You can't have somebody who knows what he's talking about." Pointing out the obvious.
Heaven forbid, yeah.
And then back that up with quite a risque little speech, I thought, from Boris Johnson about how the EC was only seeking to replicate what Hitler was trying to do.
It's always bold when you throw in a Hitler comment, I think.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice that he's starting to look a bit more like Donald Trump. So I don't know, maybe this is how people get elected these days, by making these kind of very aggressive and untrue comments. But let's see what happens now. But actually the pound got a little bit of a fillip on that, because it was just so silly that people thought that maybe this would improve the chances for the stay campaign.
Yeah.
So that's still going on in the UK. UK is still under the shadow of this huge shadow of this Brexit thing. Euro looking weak. Some deflationary figures keep coming out there, and of course we're getting nearer the migrant season, and that's increasing. Seems to be like more than last year, and so that coupled with deflation in Euroland, this is basically after we're already onto a pretty severe negative interest rate. So you wonder what you can do if it falls further.
Sure.
Different in America. In America, April showed a 1.3% increase in retail sales, and that brings the whole changes the whole nature of the game in America. They had a very small interest rate increase in, I think, December, January. And after that, there's been a sort of retracement where we've been talking about global risks, etc. Now we're getting some pretty strong figures from the retail environment. People are spending money, basically. And, that might mean that we're back on the track to having a series of regular rate increases from America.
Okay.
Which, of course, FX is basically the relative difference between economies. It's if all the economies are going down at the same rate, then
nothing changes.
Nothing changes, yeah. But when one's going up, the States is going up. I think the presidential election is about November or something.
November, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we'll still have a lot of uncertainty till then, but once that comes off, and if there aren't any huge more problems from China, then you could see the States leading the way back out of the recession.
Okay.
Whilst the opposite seems to be the case with the Euro situation, where the can of the worms has reappeared within kicking distance again.
Right.
So that's that. On the other sides, on the commodity side, we've had a sharp increase in almonds. If you've been following this one, then you'll know that the price of almonds crashed basically from about January onwards, I think. Fell to very low levels. In standard terms, we got to about $2 a pound for standard, the industrial almonds. And that was on the back of plenty of rain and expecting a big sort of increase in the number of bearing acres. Well, then we had the bearing acres report. That wasn't as high as everybody thought. And what we did have last week was the subjective estimate, where they basically phone up a lot of farmers, quite a high percentage of farmers actually, something like 25-30%, and ask them whether it's better or worse than last year. And it's subjective, but actually if you look at the graphs, and all this information is on our website as well, by the way, you'll see that actually the subjective is quite a strong and accurate indicator of the crop, what is to come. What's more important, of course, is that we don't know what the crop is going to be like till it's all in, which is going to be like next January or something like that, January, February. So these are the numbers that people work off. These are the important ones. £2 billion, which was a lot less than people were thinking. A strong one would have been something like 220, and the growers have climbed up again. They've stopped, and the market's soared, maybe 20%.
Right.
That was followed by, that was on Tuesday night, the subjective, and then Thursday we had the shipment report for April, and it was a whopper, £167 million, and the combination of these two is a whammy. There's not a lot of double whammy. There's not a lot of stock here. People have been watching the price go down and not really loading up. So all the conditions are right for a squeeze leading to must buy something kind of attitude, prices getting a lot higher. And I wouldn't be surprised if this trend keeps going, to be honest. I think the American growers have got good memories, and I think they will be looking to seize control. Something that sticks in my mind is that $2 a pound, which is with the lowest it got to. I was talking to some Americans and saying, what is the cost of growing almonds? And he said, well, it's hard to say, different places, different waters, etc. But at $2, half the farmers make money and the other half don't. Okay. So, given that they're not really poor people, they're going to squeeze this one a little bit. What about your stuff, Adam?
Yeah, so the Chilean fruit seems to be going from worse to worse on a lot of the sulphur side of things, particularly golden raisins and sulphured crimsons as well.
All right,
seems to be, from what we're hearing from a number of processors, between 60 to 70% down compared to previous years.
Right.
The amount of goldens that are going through the plant for processing and the amount of crimsons is as much as 70 to 80% of sulphured crimsons.
Right.
It's the red crimsons, not the natural crimsons, are dropping off. So it's, a lot of people are talking about shipments not being fulfilled. There's lots of problems with availability at all.
I guess everything was late.
There was 2 weeks, yeah, exactly. Everything was about 10 days to 14 days later than a normal season.
Right.
And then on the back of that, during the drying process, many of the Thompsons and Crimsons were hit by rain.
Yeah, of course, both the Goldens and the Crimsons are sulphured in 40-foot container type things. And I guess how the sulphur's burnt in there. I guess how that works is you need to know what the moisture content of the fruit you're putting in is. And if you're just hauling it off the fields, trying to protect it from the rain, then maybe you don't attend to that sulphured fruit so much.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's a bit of a catastrophe. for the Chilean fruit,
Yeah,
and
certainly.
I guess I think the flames were in.
Flames were in, but because of the Thomson problems, obviously there's now greater demand on the flames,
Yeah.
which were themselves about 30% down due to rains throughout the crop.
Right. Yeah.
They were hit by rains. I think we reported on it around November, December time.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
So they were 30% down anyway. So now you're seeing greater strain on the supply of the flames because obviously there's just not enough Thompsons to go around.
Okay, so we're going to see all sorts of things. We'll probably see a few quality problems. Some
Quality
of
problems
this fruit's
and-
quite delicate.
And certainly it looks like there's not going to be availability further down the line. There's not going to be suddenly containers appearing from the cracks come August,
Yeah.
September time. It looks like this is, if you need flame raisins, now's the time to book flame raisins.
Yeah, that's right. Flames, and we've better start looking, presenting you with some alternatives to the golden fruits. South African variants.
South African as well, yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's time to make some adjustments maybe to some of these mixes. I don't know. Certainly crimsons is like gold dust. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
simply
around,
just
yeah.
cannot get hold of
Yeah,
crimsons.
yeah. Okay, the other Chilean product that we're involved in, of course, is walnuts, and we're involved in quite a big way. Where we'll produce something by this coming Friday for 4 days' time, covering that. It's quite interesting, and we see quite an interesting season there in terms of the walnuts. But we're going to accumulate all the evidence that we've got, both from the American and the Chilean side, and give you a picture of what's going to be happening with walnuts in this coming trade year.
Excellent. Well, yeah, and we'll have written reports about the almonds and then the currency for you as well. They'll be on our news page.
Okay.
So feel free to read those. Drop us an email at anything. If you are looking to book on Goldens or Flames, please do give us a call because now is as good a chance as you're probably going to get this season to get something booked. And almonds are on the up as well. So yeah, if you're looking to cover, I'd call. Thank you.